Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing what if Poland got an empire. And yes guys, I'm back. Um, Hopefully I will start posting some more. This is not a pre-recorded video. I'm recording this. I'm seriously recording this. This is not a pre-recorded video. I'm here. And yeah, this is what if Poland got an empire. So, Poland is going to make a first couple moves, and they're not going to be immediately invading any countries. They're going to be getting some allies. So Poland's first ally, we're going to say that there's no EU, no NATO, um, and the Russian-Ukraine war isn't happening this timeline. So they're going to get an ally, and the it's going to be Ukraine. I don't want to use pink either. Let me find a color. Let's go like, what do we think about this color, guys? Yeah, this color should work. So we have their ally. So Ukraine's going to be their ally, and there's apparently going to be not many alliances made. But finally, with Poland having a new ally, they are going to set their first sights on the first country, and they're going to invade Czechia. So they're going to start by moving in, and this is obviously a very one-sided because Poland is, for one, has a stronger military, stronger navy, stronger everything, but they're gonna have to build that up as well. So they start by having a spearhead from here, almost trying to cut the country into two, and this is what it looks like after 3 weeks of fighting, because they struggled with the mountains, but once they got past the mountains, they were pretty much set sail, and now they are just pushing in as hard and as fast as possible. Once they take the capital, and Czechia completely surrenders, and then the peace treaty is just going to be Poland annexing them. And instead of Poland just going to war with Slovakia is going to get an ultimatum. They can either join Poland or just get invaded. So Poland is going to send over that ultimatum, and Slovakia accepts it, and well, you have Poland looking longer now, I guess. Now, they hate how Russia has this little thing right here. So Poland sends an ultimatum to Russia, saying they will help them and let them invade all of the Baltic countries like Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And Russia accepts it. It's worth it. So, and Poland said they will not take much land from the countries. So Russia accepts the treaty. Well, not the treaty, but the deal. And they go ahead and they both declare war on the Baltic nations. But unexpectedly, with that, you have, well, it's going to go very one-sidedly for a little bit. But finally, the Baltic nations were kind of able to put a halt and were able to kind of defend the front line for a little bit at least. And they pushed them. They don't push them back, but they do hold back the Russians and the Polish, which the Polish is probably number 3, the third strongest country in Europe, excluding Russia. So they're probably right behind France and Britain, but they're getting close to them. They're like really close. Poland is becoming a very strong country, but a very unlike country in the world because they are invading countries. But no one really knows what will happen when Poland and Russia meets up, because they don't know if this is an alliance or they don't know if it's just like a deal, if they'll go to war when troops meet up. They don't know what will happen. So the war is going very one-sidedly, obviously. Poland makes a little bit more advances. Then it's winter, and Russia pushes pass their border and they split Latvia and Estonia from each other. At this point, Estonia is practically collapsed. I'm pretty sure Estonia's capital. It's been a little while, guys, since I've done this, but pretty sure It's up there, and Latvia's is right there. So Russia is really close to the capital, and they're going to push and encircle the capital and push around, encircle a little bit. And well, it ends up looking something like this. At the end, by this time, they're very close to collapsing. They don't want to be in this war anymore. None of the countries do, and they all just decide to surrender. So the bloodbath of a war, because it wasn't a pretty war, it was a very gruesome war, ends up happening. And this was like probably for the best, because that means the world doesn't have to see what will happen when Russian and Polish troops meet up, and because that could either go good or bad and start a big war, and no one wants an even bigger war. So Poland is going to stick to what they said. They're going to take a decent amount of land, but not much north. They're going to take a little bit of land there, but that's really all the land they take. I hate those borders. We're going to redraw that. The borders will look something like this. They'll come down and then out like this, and then they'll kind of spread out a little bit. But Poland will gain this land here, and Russia will be given free will to do whatever they want to do with the rest of the land. A lot of countries are thinking that Russia and Poland will become allies after this war. No, they really don't like each other. Still, Poland and Russia hate each other. The only reason why Poland worked with this is so they could get that land, and they could have a better way to stop Russia. And that's why Finland didn't join, because they know that, because, well, Finland just became allies with Poland. So Russia's not going to be able to go up north anymore, but Russia is going to be taking these three countries. And then finally, Russia is being looked at and being told to stop by European countries, which Poland finds really funny because they technically started the war. Russia wasn't planning on doing anything. Russia was literally just doing nothing innocent, but Poland started the war. So they found that really funny. So they're only going to take the rest of this land. I'm just kidding. What actually does happen to it is it becomes a Polish puppet, and, well, Russia is no longer a part of any alliance, and Poland now has a little sphere of influence, and they have grown pretty big. They're already pretty much an empire. This is the biggest Poland has been in hundreds of years, I'm pretty sure. They have all of this land and a puppet, and two major allies that are pretty strong. Now, they can't go west. Sorry, I was remembering my directions, but they can't go west into Germany, because Germany, they're still a close ally, but they're iffy because of the past, and, well, they're on the radar. They don't want to come up to Denmark, because Denmark, that could get them a lot of shit from Poland. Oh, I didn't say that word, guys. Oopsies. Oh, this stays between us, okay? But they're getting a lot of trouble from Britain and France, because France and Britain already are kind of iffy about them. They're already like, oh no, you little bugger, you're gonna be the death of us. And then Poland's like, yep. And then they're like, what? What'd you say? And then Poland's like, well, I didn't say anything. No, I didn't do anything. Huh? So Poland's going to ask Germany, out of the kindness of their heart, are they willing to invade Austria and Hungary with them? Germany goes, sure, what the heck? Because then it looks like it's just like an alliance building, but they're not going to be allies, because they're still on their radar. Poland's Yeah. So Germany and Poland are going to focus mainly on Austria for a little bit because they have the mountains and they'll just go hide up in the mountains, which will be a pain in the butt to deal with. Um, and Hungary is pretty much tapped out immediately because you also got to remember you do have Ukraine did join this war. Ukraine is in this war. They're just helping a little bit. They might get a little bit of land from this, but probably not a lot. You have finally them entering Vienna, and they capture the whole city, and they circle a little bit of troops, and now it's pretty much just mountains. They try working their way down there, but they're not able to. And then they're going to encircle even more troops there, right? So now with the full troops just encircled there, which those are a lot of troops. Yep, I just erased a river off the world map. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Yeah. They're going to push into Hungary a little bit more until Hungary officially decides to surrender, hoping to get a deal like Lithuania did, instead of having to completely just topple over. But you have Austria um, being taken out a little bit more, these troops being pushed in, and officially they surrender. So this war did not go good for them. They lost very bad, very very bad, but it's okay. The war is over now, and well, let's look at the peace treaty. So Germany is going to be gaining not a lot from this, but a share amount of this. And well, Germany does believe that this could be an alliance making. And Poland goes, so we need to talk. It's not you, it's me, I swear. Like, I really liked you, and you're a really good country, and your president, you make so much money. It's just, I don't think where we're going right now is the best idea. And Germany's like, so you're breaking up with me right now? And they're like, yeah, I'm really sorry. But, so, yeah, my fault, guys. But, you have Germany gaining this part of Austria, which is a decent part of it, but nothing really too important, mostly just mountains over there. But then you have Poland being greedy, and those greedy Poles, you know. I'm sorry, guys. If anybody that watches my videos are Polish, I'm sorry. But yeah. So you have, and then you have Ukraine just gaining this little bit of land right here, and they are Poland is looking pretty dang long, and they are expanding pretty far into the Balkans, and they that never goes well, even for Poland. Ask Germany, ask Turkey, Italy, Russia, every major country. Ask Poland itself. They probably tried doing it. I'm pretty sure they have done it in the past. So they finally turn their heads away from these countries, like the Balkan countries, all these countries, and like they look over at Germany and say, "Yo, so you're either gonna give me all your land and join me, or we're going to like do something bad." And Germany's like, "What the fuck? What do you mean something bad?" Um, so Germany decides, we'll test our luck. So Germany calling their only ally that they've been able to make in this new world, which is surprisingly Romania. Don't know how. And well, Ukraine's like, oh, bet I'll join this war then. So like they're officially part of this war, and they declare war on Romania and Moldova. But they somehow get another ally, and they get Denmark. But now Germany's getting it's kind of getting eyed up by these guys. They're getting like really eyed up by the purple team. So this is kind of a three-way war with the purple and red not at war with each other, but it's more so just to stop Poland. So Poland and Ukraine are going to start a little offensive into Romania because they didn't expect Romania to be a part of this war. Ukraine is going to do a little bit more damage to Romania and Moldova because they joined this war only because they joined the war, which Ukraine is really upset about. Not Ukraine, Germany. The Germany government officials are very upset about. But overall, Ukraine does have the upper hand over Romania. But over here in Germany, you're going to have Germany is not a weak country. They are a pretty decently strong country. Okay. They can do a lot with the money that they have. And well, they are. They're going to push Poland away from the capital. Okay. And they are going to, well, they're going to hold this. But it's fine. Poland's troops is mostly down here in Czechia and Austria because, well, they were already down there. So you have Germany getting encircled down here in the mountains, which are not just there. They're like all the way here, not even just that far. They don't get encircled, but they get pushed back into the mountains down here in Austria. So you lose all the claims on Austria, and they lose a very big chunk of them down here in the south, and they're even losing some on up north in forget the province's name, but in the north of Czechia. And finally, a little bit of purple team troops leak through the Sudetenlands, and well, it's like, oh wow, okay, so Germany's getting gangbanged, and Germany's like, what the flip is going on here? What am I meant to do? So you have France pushing back as getting pushed back a little bit. And Germany's not doing too bad because you got to understand this is the strongest country they've faced so far. And well, you do have them making some good advances, but the cost of this offensive into Poland, they were able to push Poland. They were able to push Poland, but Poland was able to push them farther back and right up close and personal. Oh, no, that's bad. Right up close and all to Berlin. And well, they're going to start a little bit of a counteroffensive into Germany because they're just able to walk in and they're like, yo, do you guys care? And people that live here are like, bro, just don't kill us. We don't care. And then they're like, okay. And finally, the capital of Denmark is captured and this whole island falls because Poland was putting a lot of pressure on them. And well, the United Kingdom is going to go back to their old ways and start a naval invasion just to cut off as many Polish troops as possible. So this is what the main reason why the purple team joined the war is, just to stop the Polish people. But at this point, it was mainly just a race, and Germany's just going to probably hold them like here, or well, no, they're probably going to hold them here. So old Denmark troops and German troops that were in Denmark are told to retreat into Germany and hold Germany because there's no way that they are going to be able to like live through that. Like they're cooked pretty much. Okay. You have Poland having the majority line, like majority of the border. They're not fighting. So Purple and Poland, so France and the United Kingdom are not at war with Poland and Ukraine. They're mainly just trying to give Germany a second chance at living, but just not be neutral and be on their side. And that's why they're being invaded, is because they're neutral. But finally, Polish troops are down here doing a lot of work and helping Ukraine out here in Romania. Moldova is still up to Ukraine. Poland refused to declare war on Moldova because Poland does not want Moldova. But you have the uh, you have Poland and Ukraine to continue pushing into Romania, and they make it pretty far, and Ukrainian troops start to encircle um, all of Moldova, which they are successful with, surprisingly enough. And, well, eventually the border with Moldova, well, not the border with Moldova, but Moldova surrenders over to the occupation uh, troops, and this pocket of Romanian and Moldovan troops also surrender because it was gonna be bad, and this way it's safe. Because Poland isn't a bad place to live as long as you just give up. Finally, the capital is captured, and these troops just kind of fall back. They are able to push them out of the capital, surprisingly enough, because of the troops falling back. But now they're kind of stuck at a stalemate with Romania. But at this point in time, Romania is not a ally that is looking so good for Germany because they are very close to falling, barely any coastal line that isn't occupied by enemy troops. So at this point in time, it's not going to go well. Germany has stopped really fighting back against the purple team because they realize that they're not going to be the greatest threat. They're not going to take any land. That's not what they're here for. They're here to bring peace back to Europe and smack Poland in the face. So, with that said, you have a big chunk of Germany surrendering over to the purple team. And this is kind of like what they did in World War II, was when they would send a whole bunch of when in the Battle of Berlin, they would send like families and just so many people over to the Ally side of Berlin, to save them from the communists. But the Allies would send them back. It was not a good time. Fun fact, though. Hey, finally, Poland is able to get control over the rest of, well, important Austria, I guess you can say. And they are going to continue pushing out in this southern area, even meeting up with the purple team once again. And, well, they end up encircling all these troops down here. And, is it just me, or does this seem like a border that we've kind of seen, It kind of looks like a World War II Germany, but just they're falling and collapsing. Finally, Germany is pushed out of Poland, and Poland is able to take full control over. That is black. They are able to take full control over the southern front line, and link up these two front lines. And sadly for the Germans, the purple team was not able to give up in time to the purple, and they lost their capital to the Polish, which the Polish people are not, the Polish military is not being kind to the German people or the German government or really anyone in Germany. Like, you could be Polish and they'll still kill you. Like, Poland is doing bad things in Germany, but it's okay. No one knows except for us, because Poland is keeping that very secret until the Germans come out and say they're doing this stuff, and then then the Polish government is put on trial. They are put on death row in the USA for some reason. The USA, by gunfire, they get executed, and a peace treaty is drawn up. So, I'm going to drop this peace treaty for you guys, and I will see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, I'm done the peace treaty. So, the peace treaty is Germany and Denmark are both still alive, but they lost the important part. Well, Germany lost their capital, Denmark lost their capital. So now you have Poland looking really big. Poland is massive. Did someone just say massive? I'm bringing the meme back, guys. I'm not dragging it, I swear. But yeah, Oh, shoot. I forgot about Romania. Ah, shoot. Y'all, I'll be right back, guys. Oh, shoot. Okay, guys. Now I am done with the peace treaty. So, you have Poland gaining the eastern parts of Germany and making the southern more, um, the southern eastern parts a puppet. Because they can't control all the land, they know that. They didn't do good things to Germany during the war, so Germany's not really happy with them, and the German people aren't really happy with them. So they took the important parts that they wanted, and that's it. They also took the important parts of Denmark, so they do have an entrance technically there, but the blue team is now still technically blocking them off. The purple team, they became the dark blue team, the anti-Polish team, and well, you have um, that alliance being coming a little big with a couple nations joining it, like Sweden. Russia joins it because, well, they could get all the help they need, and then that's really it for the blue. No one else really comes to the help them, and the Balkans is still scared that they'll be dragging to a big war, and they don't want to be. The only reason why Romania got invaded is because they joined the war. And same with Moldova. Well, Ukraine declared war on them, but. And over here with Romania, Poland got a little bit of land that is mostly Hungarian land, and Hungary actually got that land in the provinces, in their provinces map. Romania was forced to change over to Poland's side, and Ukraine got a decent chunk and all of Moldova. And at this point, they don't have really anywhere else to go. And if they go anywhere else, they're just going to be justified war, and they're going to be declared war on and taken out. So they're going to be like, hey, you only live once. And then, so they declare war on these, and then, like, a whole bunch of nuclear bombs is just dropped everywhere onto them. Like, it just looks like they have green polka dots, like, everywhere on them. Ukraine and Romania and Finland live. No, I'm just joking, guys. No nuclear bombs. No nuclear bombs. That's my rule. No nuclear bombs. Oh no, I can't erase all of them. No nuclear bombs. But yeah. So I have to get rid of all of these. Poland doesn't really have anywhere else to go to invade, so they're just gonna work on growing their alliance a little bit, and they do that. They are able to get Norway in on their alliance somehow. They also get some outsider nations on their side, like Georgia. I don't even know who else. They also get Spain, I'd say, because Spain, they are they have a lot of Polish spies in there and in the government. Um, Israel joins the side of Poland because they're always on the bad guy side. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Just jokes. Wait, Benjamin Yahoo, what are you doing here? I'm joking, guys. It's just jokes. Um, but yeah, honestly, I can't really think of anything else that would go on in this world. The Polish alliance is too scared to go any farther, and the blue team doesn't want a big war. Just kidding, they do want a big war, and that's exactly what's happening. So, the blue team declares war on the red team because, well, they are a threat. So, in a matter of seconds, Israel leaves the war because if Israel was on the side of the red team, I feel like the blue team would immediately lose. But the red team was prepared for this, so they're going to have, so the red team is going to have an easier time. Poland is going to start off by invading up here and holding this part of Denmark. Their main goal is to only have minimal losses, as little as possible. So, sorry guys, I had a sneeze. That definitely wasn't me taking the thumbnail picture. But you're going to have Poland still making some advances, even into Italy, because you got to understand, by this point, I believe that Poland is stronger than France and Britain, but not combined, obviously. Um, and you're probably surprised why the leader is still like so fighting, just because that old leader was executed for the crimes. Doesn't mean that Poland didn't get another leader just like that. But where the blue team is going to be seeing success is going to be over here in Ukraine. Russia is going to focus more up here in the north, because down in the south, that's where more Polish troops are, and you can see that getting slimmer and slimmer around there. So, and Georgia pretty much practically just gets cut off by the Russians, and they're just gonna get held like this. So Russia is mainly tasked with Georgia and Ukraine, and holding off Finland and Norway, and trying to save Sweden. And Russia is going to do that for a little bit. They're going to push in at least the tiniest bit into Finland, because I feel like Russia is still underestimated in real life. They're not. I don't agree with anything they're doing in real life. What they're doing in real life is messed up. And guys, if you don't like me getting political here, or my fun facts, this is kind of a political content. So I'm gonna try kind of start changing up my type of videos. That's why I took a hiatus for so long, because I got bored of making videos. But I think I still want to stick to this kind of stuff, but I want to stick to more educational type of videos. Maybe I'll do like world events where, like, breaking news, the USA is at war with the whole world, or something like that. I don't know. But I want to do videos like that instead of just what if the Poland got an empire videos. That's why I took such a long break. But as I was saying, back to the video, you're going to have Russia also experiencing a lot of support from in Lithuania. You're going to have, instead of it being invaded, it's more liberation. That's why they're not on the red team, because they aren't being invaded, they're being liberated from the blue team. So you have Russia pushing in and taking back this land here, because, well, for one, you have Russia is, there's still Russians living there. Poland is able to hold on to this land here, but over here in Ukraine, Ukraine is going to fall a little bit more. They're going to fall back quite a bit because Russia is doing really good in fighting. They encircle these troops here, not like that though, not like how I drew it, but just they got encircled there, and they slowly got pushed in until they got flattened out like that, and now like this. So you're gonna have Russia starting an invasion into Kaliningrad. Actually, we're gonna have them still technically having full control over Kaliningrad. They're gonna start a minor invasion through Kaliningrad into the south, but you have Romanian forces coming up here to stop that advances pretty fast, and same with Ukrainian forces. Over here, you have Poland making some more advances into Denmark, and they do it pretty well. They make some far advances. They make it into, they have full control over the passageway now. So now it's gonna be harder for supplies to get to Russia, because they can't just come through sea. Which they wouldn't anyways. They probably were already coming over, because it's very difficult to get over there to Russia. But Russia is doing pretty good. But this is not a blue team video. Our next country to drop out of the war that is not on the blue team side is going to be Spain, because Spain didn't want to be part of this war. They are going to be punished but they're not going to be losing any land to any blue countries except for some islands. Um, but I think this province looks something like this. This province is given its independence, and this country is sadly joining that province because there's no point for them to really exist. But Italy is going to be taking these islands from them just to spite Spain and being on the other side. And now it looks like Poland is all alone, and they kind of are. But Poland is going to make another invasion over here, and they are going to reach France's territory this time. And they make it really far, actually. They do. They made it into France's territory. This is farther than a lot of countries ever have. Like, France is a strong country. And right now, the UK and Russia is caught up dealing with Ukraine or Poland up in the north of Denmark. Germany is told to hold out and not surrender. The southern part does surrender, and Poland moves deeper into France with taking all of this land. And right now, it seems like all hope is lost for the blue team out here in France. Not because France is giving up, but because Poland is just overwhelming them. But in good news for the blue team, Italy is able to push back into and reach the German puppet state and able to liberate that land from the, well, not liberate the land, but liberate like a couple pixels at least from the Polish Iron Fist. Because Poland has become, as at this point, is a complete dictatorship. At the start, they were promised good land, freedom, and more money, a better living life, which was successful for a while. And then and then this new government just started putting the iron fist with this war, and it's a dictatorship. There's no more like voting system. It's no more of that. So Ukraine is going to make a very good event happen for the red team, and they're going to push back, not event, but they're going, technically an event in this war, and they're going to push back Russia, but Russia was rearranging troops to go focus on Poland to try to distract Poland from France, because right now France is losing a lot of land. And what's scary is that Poland completely just leaves this area and lets Russia encircle it. They don't care. They rather hold a shorter front line than have to hold this whole long front line. So in reality, it was a smart move. And finally, one full country was liberalized from the control of from Poland, and now they are given an option. They can either join the blue team, fight Poland, and either gain more land if they win, or lose more land if they lose, or just be completely gone and like be genocide at this point. But they decided to join. They're going to take the risk because honestly, there's not much more you can do. Russia up here in the north is going to make a little bit more success closer to the capital. They're going to inch their way closer, right? They're not going to take it yet, but they are going to get pushed back up here in the north by Finland, but it was worth it because this is more important land anyways than up here in the north. Sweden is going to make this part of Norway surrender and take out the northern part of Finland. Sweden is on a roll, but now they're connected to Russia, which is not good because the blue team now has technically a complete bridge over. So we'll start from the back of the boot of Italy. They all have to do is come up through here, right? Let's say there's some supplies that Russia needs for some reason. All they have to do, this is a lot less dangerous of a route. Yes, it'll take more time, but it's way less dangerous. And they can go to any front line they need, or they can just take the more dangerous route and there. So they now have lots of different routes, but still, that is not good for the red team. And well, a lot of Polish troops have been removed off the Ukrainian border, and Romania and Ukraine are mostly just fighting them for themselves now. Poland's still out there to help them, but not as much as they were at the beginning of the war. But that's because Poland has started a very big counteroffensive against Italy, and they are pushing back hard against Italy. They've encircled a number of troops here, and they are slowly pushed in, either surrendered, deserted, or killed. And they are going to get pushed back farther and farther into here. Now Poland sends over a peace treaty. They say, let us do whatever we want with the land we have now, and we'll call it even. And then something happens. 10,000 troops land up here in the north of Denmark, and they are able to push back. They go over to Sweden, and they are able to push back. And they take back these islands, and Denmark is now rewarded these islands back because they actually did something in this war. They've actually been fighting. They've actually been carrying their weight in this war. They were able to hold off Poland and not just completely surrender in 6 hours. Germany also is pulling their weight with them being very crippled still. I'd put Germany even more crippled than Denmark. They are able to make counteroffensives from what they have right now when they are getting no outside support. Maybe the north one is, but the north one is majority just Germany pushing back. Germany, Denmark, and the Ukraine, not the Ukrainian, the UK troops are now able to make a push for the Polish border, and the first time in a long time, this land is being liberated from Polish control, because they were still doing bad stuff to the Germans even after that government was executed, and people in these like little villages are telling the troops that, like, please save us, we don't want to be here anymore, please save us from the military, they're coming, which it was very heartbreaking, and it gives a sense of morale to the whole blue team, because it shows that they're doing something right, and it gives Russia a little bit of sense of more empathy. So Russia's becoming a good guy Russia, yeah. But yeah, so you have finally Italy pulling their own weight in a war, and they are able to push back Poland fully and start liberating southern parts of Germany and a little bit of Germany and Austria. They're liberating all of that. Germany is told that they can keep all the land that they had before this war. They might be rewarded more land than they had before because they're pulling their own weight. Jeez Louise, look how much Germany had, and they started a counteroffensive. But yet Poland does not care. So Poland does not stop in their offensive into France, and they start a spearhead out to Paris and one down here. But France also has a sense of morality, like not morality, but like a morale boost. And well, these two spearheads are going to be encircled, and not that southern one, but they are going to be pushing back pretty far. This southern hold is really the only thing they have, with the northern troops starting to surrender over to France because they have been fighting for 15 years straight. Some troops have, and they are tired and they want to go home. Not in this war, but in all the wars that have happened in this video. Germany is starting to be liberalized, and Poland is starting to see the end near. Sorry for my stuttering, guys. I always stutter in my videos. I don't mean to, though. But you have Germany getting their land back and pushing pretty hard after they get their citizens back, and they start a very big counteroffensive. And this is called the liberalization of Germany, or freedom for the G. And the G stands for Germany, and the freedom stands for freeing Germany. Yeah. Okay, guys, so Now Poland is facing a lot of trouble, and the USA is starting to give support over to the blue team. They were sending a little bit of support over to the red at the beginning because the USA was more sided with the red because of Russia. But now that they're losing, the USA is kind of like, I don't really care. I'm gonna send more support over the blue. So that's exactly what happens. And well, finally, the Russians get a successful naval invasion onto Finland, and it is big. It is not a small naval invasion. It is a very big naval invasion. And finally, the capital is encircled, and it's not looking good for them. Not at all. Because once the capital of Finland falls, all these people, they surrender. They don't want to be fighting that war. So it's literally just the people in Finland still fighting. Like, Finland was really against this war. They were really against being allies with Poland. And, well, finally we see some success from Russia again. Down here in the south, invading Ukraine. And it's finally showing that Poland, Ukraine, and Romania are not invincible. They can fall. This southern part of the Germany surrenders over, and a new invasion into this land gets started, and it is very successful because these people do not want to be part of Poland either. Like Austria and Hungary do not want to be part of Poland. They'd rather be a part of Germany, Italy, or anything really. So Poland sends over a peace treaty. You just let me take the land that I have now. You guys can keep everything that you have. The blue team looks at Poland and goes, no. And Poland's like, what do you mean? No. I am offering you a deal of a lifetime. I am the best. And they're like, no. And finally, a blue rebellion starts in Poland. It's big, but it's not successful. They do get pushed back a little bit, right? So this is people rising up against the government, but they're not completely just iron-fisted. They are pushed back to only a couple pixels, but they still hold out. And this shows hope, even more hope for the blue team. And finally, Germany, the northern part of Germany is completely liberated, and now the southern area, they don't care about this land. They want to just push in and take the capital. So, all the countries are in hyperdrive. They are pushing in as fast as possible, and they shoot out all the way out to here, and Poland is terrified, because what the heck are all these troops doing here now all of a sudden, now that we immediately lost that front line? That was really the only thing keeping the blue team from using like 50,000 troops, or like, no, 100,000 from each country over there to invade them. The Kiev is captured, and all of a sudden massive parts of Ukraine just surrender over to blue, like this massive chunk over here. Romania immediately surrenders because they don't want to be in this war. So they're going to get invaded of this land. So Poland is kind of doing what Germany did, because Romania didn't just surrender, they switched sides. So yeah, it's not looking good for Poland anymore because their allies are trying to surrender. You have this surrendering bubble just growing until Poland decides to come over here and start invading this. Yes, they are moving troops over into Ukraine to stop Russia. But Russia saw that coming, and they pumped troops down there to hold Kiev, because they don't want to lose Kiev. That's their main priority, because once Kiev got captured, it showed that Ukraine doesn't really want to be in this war either. The people don't really agree with being aligned to Poland, especially with what Poland has been doing. Finally, bigger invasion has started in the northwest of Poland, and it's from Russia, and Belarus is helping. Belarus decides to join this war and help out the red team, not the red team, the blue team, and it's good. That's really good. Eventually, you have this rebellion growing again, and this rebellion is promised a safe Poland, and there will still be a Poland to living after a safe and, well, caring Poland and nurturing, of course, Poland to living after this war. And that's exactly what they want. They just want peace. This world was full of peace, no wars, so that's why there's no alliances. It just happened to be that Poland decided to change that. So, finally, you have Georgia. Have I been saying Jordan whenever I talk? Georgia switches sides onto the side of blue. And now, finally, Romania is going to start pushing back. And they're like, guys, we can surrender. Just let us keep we'll go back to before we invaded Germany borders. And they're like, no, we're taking you guys out. And that's when Poland's like, oh no, we messed up, right? So Germany continues to invade, and well, so does Russia. Like, not Germany, but the blue team. So the full blue team meet up, and they start pushing right down into not Moscow, Warsaw, and Warsaw is about right here, I want to say. I can't really predict it where it is right now, but it's somewhere there. But they end up pushing out, capturing it, and practically the whole country just follows. Like, this land is given to them, like the rebellion, and then this land just completely surrenders over. This southern invasion just also takes off. Those troops are like still holding out though. They're like really loyal troops. A massive invasion over here starts because Poland is not just giving up immediately. They're not as weak as their allies are, because a lot of their allies didn't want to be in this war. Poland did. The people of Poland did want to be in this war. Not all of them, but most of them. But finally, when Poland is looking like this, they surrender because they're split up like into two. So now it's just Ukraine holding out, and Ukraine's like, the Ukrainian government's still in power, and they're like, the people of Ukraine are like, what are we doing in this war? Poland is gone. Stop. And you have the government hiding out in a wheat field somewhere in the country, doing what Saddam Hussein did. He's in a little bunker, a little bigger, where you can stand and that stuff, but not too big. But it's farther deeper as well. And finally, the Ukrainian military just kind of gives up, but the government is still giving orders, and they need to look for the government, so they start searching areas, and they get a hint finally, and they heard that he was in a wheat field, and they're like, oh, he's in the ground, isn't he? And then the government was like, no, we didn't say that. Yes, he is. And then finally the government's like, okay, I'll surrender if you don't kill me. And they're like, fine. Then they kill him. So Finland and Norway, they're the last hope. They're gonna win. Look, guys, they're gonna win. They're gonna take out the boom. Oh my God, they won. See that after those two guys, they win. You know? No. I'm gonna drop the peace treaty for you guys. I will see you guys in a second. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm done the peace treaty. This video is already really long. I'm sorry about that, but here it is. So Poland is punished severely, and guess what? Poland doesn't just have one safe. The people of Poland don't just have one safe Poland. They have three. So yeah, they have three safe Polands that they can live in or whatever. And well, as you can see, there's northern, Eastern, Eastern and Western. So these three Polands are now forbidden to ever unite again. I just did them in different colors so you could see it better. You have Germany gaining a lot of land from this war. The countries over here stay the same. I forgot to erase a border. Sweden gains quite a bit of land. They gain this part from Norway, like all this land from Norway. They also gain this southern part from Norway right here. Denmark is back to full. Finland is punished by Russia taking this land right here and some land right here. So yeah, and then this is Moldova, but Moldova's borders, I'm not able to draw borders back, guys. That's why Hungary owns all of this now, because it's just the best way that they thought would happen. Romania is also kind of punished still because they were still on the other side. And then these guys are still colored ink. But they aren't punished because they switched sides. And then yeah. So this is what would happen. Not actually what would happen, but this is what if Poland got an empire. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.